Deputy Maureen O'Sullivan.
Thank you, Ciarán Comhairle. Taoiseach, yesterday afternoon I attended the press conference organised by Justice for Magdalene Research, and it was also supported by Amnesty, by the Irish Council for Civil Liberties and the National Women's Council. They all acknowledged your apology, its integrity, that it was heartfelt, and it gave so much hope to the women. And that led to the work of Justice Quirke and the recommendations that he made in his report, which were accepted here in June 2013. So the ladies of the Magdalene Laundries expected that all of those recommendations and proposals would be put into action. Now, the Redress for Women Resident in Certain Institutions Bill 2014 is not honouring all that was recommended by Judge Quirke. For example, he found a significant number of women who would face difficulties managing their affairs, many of whom are living in institutions or in nursing homes. And he recommended certain things for those women lacking full capacity so that the payments would be for their benefit. But the bill makes no provision for the appointment of care reps to ensure that that happens. Now, he was very clear in the first recommendation, which was the Magdalene women would have access to the full range of services currently enjoyed by holders of the HAA card, the Health Amendment Act, because there's a range of services in that card which are being denied the ladies from the Magdalene Laundries. They're known as the enhanced cards. Now, I did hear last night after the press conference that the enhanced cards would be made available, but I would like you to confirm today that that is the case for the ladies from the Magdalene Laundries, because it might require a policy order from you to ensure that that happens.
Thank you.
And thank Deputy O'Sullivan for her comments. I can confirm that for you. Let me say to you, Deputy O'Sullivan, that I should remind the House that this was a matter that was neglected for over 60 years, and government here listened very carefully to those women who were in the Magdalene Laundries. We asked Mr. Martin McAleese to do a report on this, and subsequently appointed Justice Quirke to draw up an appropriate scheme for the Magdalene women. And the government is fully committed, Deputy O'Sullivan, to implementing in full that Quirke report. Women under the scheme are entitled to a payment of £11,500 to £100,000, depending on their length of stay. In addition, they receive top-up payments of €100 weekly if under pension age, and up to €230.30 when aged 66 or over, depending on other state payments. To date, a decision has been made in 87% of cases, and 495 applicants have received payments totalling €18 million. Now, Justice Quirke also recommended that the women should have access to an enhanced medical card, as you pointed out. He also specifically recommended that legislation should be introduced to give effect to that recommendation. The new bill, which is to be introduced now, will provide an enhanced medical card. And the legislation, Deputy O'Sullivan, is modelled on the Health Amendment Act of 1996, was published in December just gone by, and the bill is expected to be introduced into law later this month. I note the statements that you refer to that were attributed to the Justice for the Magdalenes group, suggesting that the Redress for Women Residents in Certain Institutions Bill 2014 only provides regular medical cards to the women, as opposed to the Health Amendment 1996 card recommended by Justice Quirke. So, to be absolutely clear, Justice Quirke in his report recommended that the women receive medical services equivalent to those provided by the holder of a HAA card, and he also recommended, and I quote, that not all of the services described in the guide may be directly relevant to the Magdalene women, and any comparable guide for the Magdalene women would require suitable adaptation. So the new bill, Deputy, is similar to the 1996 Act, and it specifically provides for the following: GP and surgical services, payment of drugs, medicines and medical and surgical appliances, nursing services, home help, dental, ophthalmic and oral services, counselling services, chiropody services, physiotherapy services, and there would be no requirement to pay the statutory charge for public acute hospital inpatient services. So the 2014 scheme is focused on the medical needs of the women under the scheme. Therefore, many of the services are accessible through a referral by a doctor or by a nurse. The only substantive service, Deputy Sullivan, that is not included under the new scheme relates to non-conventional therapies. HSE funding of expenditure on complementary therapies such as angel healing, emotional freedom techniques and dancing the spiral by positive action led to severe criticism, and positive action itself was wound up in May 2014, as you're aware. So the Minister does not wish to see the important medical supports that will be provided by the enhanced medical card undermined in any way by the inclusion of controversial, non-conventional therapies. I hope that answers your question, Deputy Sullivan.
Thank you, Taoiseach. And it's good that you have confirmed that the enhanced card will be available to the ladies from the Magdalene Laundries. But isn't it a shame that once again there was more stress and tension brought into their lives because of the fact that they were not clear on that from the bill? And I do think that while they have acknowledged what has been done and progress has been done, there's no doubt about that. You know, why can we not get it 100% right instead of 60% or 70% right, so that all the outstanding issues are addressed? And regarding the McAleese report, it was disappointing. It had a narrow remit, and listening yesterday to the many, many stories from the ladies in the Magdalene Laundries that were not covered by the McAleese report, which has also been pointed out by the UN Committee on Torture. So there are outstanding issues, and I do think that as you are making progress, that we go for 100% progress instead of falling short of that. Those ladies deserve much more.
Well, obviously, thank you for your comment. In many cases, this information was already out there, but I hope I've clarified it for you now and for the women who are concerned. In respect of the last portion of your question, Deputy, about other women in Magdalene homes, there are elements of that being addressed under the Mother and Baby programme or commission that has been set up by the Minister for Children, particularly insofar as women who were in Magdalene homes were exiting state service or state support. So, in respect of your question about the enhanced medical card and the services that it provides, I hope the position will now be absolutely clear for those women who were the subject of the Magdalene home report, and in respect of which the state wanted to be as generous and as flexible as possible in providing the very many range of services for these women who are now on in years and deserve to have that recognition and that support given to them by the state.
Thank you.